over the long haul, we're going to be more productive and we're going to yield more fruit if we have rest and rhythm and replenishment. And in fact, God has woven it into our very DNA. Y'all, I'm so grateful that you're back for this summer series. I am learning so much about Sabbath, especially for those of us that are just like juggling so many things. And Sabbath can be a point of tension for us. There's no doubt about it. We know that God commands us to rest, but we also know that our to-do lists just don't get shorter from week to week. So we've got our dear, dear friend Angie from Mexico City here with us. I love it. I love it. I always tell people that I love Spanish, but it is the second language that will be spoken in heaven. The first language is Greek because I am Greek and everything, all roads lead back to Greek. But tell us, Angie, you've got a lot going on. We learned so much from you when we listened to you on the podcast. It was so powerful. But what do you do in the midst of a very busy life? You're a wife, you're a mother, you co-pastor, and obviously you head up all of A21 for Latin America. So I'm sure everyone, including me, wants to know, what does Sabbath look like for you?
Well, what a good question. Well, first, I think one of the best ways to keep Sabbath, not only a day holy, but a moment holy, is to devote time to worship God on a common moment, right? Nice and simple, it's just that. What I do is I try to make some time is completely unplanned. That means that having a day in which I can do whatever it comes to my mind and heart to do in a moment. It is like the Sabbath year in which the land was given a rest, and it was not planted with anything, and you could eat whatever happened to grow from it. And that's from Leviticus 25 1-7, that we need this kind of complete cessation from activity occasionally, or even our supposed time off would just be another from tiring exertion. That's what I try to do, to make some time that is completely unplanted. And another thing is that I try to take some avocational time, like we were talking before we started. That means like sometimes is something that is pleasure for me, or even for the people that are listening, that take some skills or expertise. Usually it's something that others would do for living. This could be a sport, or from anything from carpentry to music, or there is something from that, like as I say, and at this moment, since the year began, I decided to return to learn a new language so I can disconnect, and I don't get frustrated because I don't understand, and it's just I'm in my learning curve. And something that is also exercise is one of those pleasant moments when I can really disconnect from everything around me, and that wasn't happening. And now it's happening because I made an internal decision for an external practice. This is something like you do, Chris, like you do, and take some occasional time to do hiking. And that's also some internal Sabbath. And something else is that I try to take some time to nurture relationships. Like this is time for my family, friends, time to set aside to actually pay full attention to the most important people in my life. And we are relational creatures. Sorry, we are rational creatures made by God's image, and even a strong in introverts need both affirmation and the sense of being known that comes from close bonds in relational ties. That's how I do my moments of Sabbath.
I love all of that. Like, and I love the fact that it involves everything, switching your brain off and, learning Portuguese because you already do English and Spanish, and it just works another part of your brain. Rachel, I'm a bit blown away that this is the first time during this Sabbath series that someone has pulled out Leviticus. Trust our South American
Seriously.
sister to be the spiritual one.
I love that you did that. I love that you dove into the roots of Sabbath. And you said something right in the very beginning when you were talking that stuck with me so much. You differentiated between a whole day and a moment. And I love that, especially because I know as a mom, like you talked about incorporating your kids in the Sabbath. I forget by 10 a.m. what I said I was going to be doing at 8 a.m. And so that bringing into Sabbath the importance of a moment as opposed to the whole day. I know I have a tendency to throw out the whole day when I've screwed something up by 10 a.m. And so that is such a great mindset. I literally wrote it down. And so I'm also wondering, how do you incorporate your children into Sabbath, and how do you incorporate them into like those holy moments that you brought up?
Well, uh, I try to inject Sabbath into my work. Some people, and I've been there. That's why I'm saying it. It's not because some people. I'm that people are so given to overwork that even regular time off doesn't even seem to keep them from being totally exhausted or by the intensity of their work week. And I've been there many times, and associated it with the Sabbath laws, in which even I remember I read something in which the owners of the fields were not allowed to harvest out to the edges of the fields. They had to leave percentage of the grain in their field for the poor to come and take. And some people, and that's also me, have used this as an inspiration for deliberately setting fewer goals from themselves in a given day, a given moment, or a given week, and not harvesting out to the edges and not to trying to squeeze productively out of every single second of every day. And because of my season, as you were saying, as a mother of a kid and a toddler, it keeps me it keeps me very busy this season, beyond what I can expect in a day from myself, beyond. However, I have learned that that with children, and I think you know this, the both of you, it is this that the years go fast, but the days go slow. And for that reason, I want to be well. I want to be healthy for them. I need to take care of myself. No one will do that. I need to stay healthy and safe and in one piece. And that requires for me to rest in God, and that doesn't mean that I will not be doing something. I'll be doing something, but inside I'll be resting and sitting with my God in a table, waiting for Him with so much unwavering faith. And sometimes the Sabbath does not need to be practiced in a wooden way, but it's a form of life that should not be completely missing from your life or my life. I think we need to take a stock, honor Sabbath, honor the Sabbath. God has given it to us as a gift as well as a command, and we should be able to receive it and enjoy it at the same time.
I love that you're saying that we honor it by receiving it and enjoying it because it's a gift from God. And I want everyone to hear that because, Angie, like all of us have just got a whole lot going on. And if we could just get it into our heads that actually over the long haul, we're going to be more productive and we're going to yield more fruit if we have rest and rhythm and replenishment. And in fact, God has woven it into our very DNA that we need it and we require it. So it's not, I know I'm a little bit like you, Angie, in that I could think, okay, not even like a workaholic that I get my value from my work, but I want my life to count for God so much. And I think I'm only on the earth for a vapor and it's only so short. I want to make sure that for the glory of God and to honor Him with my life, that every single second of every single day I'm not wasting a moment. I think like that. I want to be. So it is a huge challenge to go, okay, it's for my good. It's a gift. It's not just a commandment. It is a commandment, and commandments are for our good, and they are a gift from God. But it's really, it works against your natural brain that thinks, the more I can produce, the more effective I can be, the better steward that I can be. It's not always because I get my value from this, or I'm a workaholic, or sometimes it's, I want to please God with every minute. So, and he's saying, well, you
Yeah.
will please me
Yes.
by trusting me, because really it becomes an issue of trust, of saying, okay, you 6 days you work, the seventh, and we're honoring it however that looks, is given unto the Lord. And basically it's saying God is God and I am not, and I am giving him my best by giving him
Mhm.
everything he asks for. But he also says, I'm not asking for this. In fact, I want you to give this to me in rest. It goes against our brain.
Yeah. Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So, okay,
Yeah.
I love this, and thank you for giving
Yeah.
us so much to think about and just sharing some of your practices and your insights. And so we've loved having you, and I don't know what to say. I just love you. You know that. I thank God that we get to work together
I do too.
in this season, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Propel Women podcast, and we'll see you, to all of our listeners, we'll see you back here next week. Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure to subscribe to this channel to get notified every time a new video is posted. We are so glad that you're here and look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you.